welcome to our first edition of The Link in 2022. We hope you had a nice rest during the holidays, and now we are back to business. Schools have opened this week, meaning that staff is back full force. And welcome back here. We want to continue furnishing you with information you can use in business. We are speaking oil. Oil is going to be big this year. It has already begun to be. But we want you to know certain things which will benefit you so you don't make mistakes. Today we are going to speak about what a company is if you're looking at local content. But my guest in the studio is Mr. Dennis Kakembo, who is a lawyer, especially in oil, and is a managing partner with Crystal Advocates. Mr. Kakembo, welcome.
Thank you, Samuel. I feel privileged and lucky that I've been your first guest in there.
I know you have been here before. All right. Let's start. What are the real tangible opportunities for Ugandan companies at this material time in the oil, at contractor and subcontractor level? What do you know?
Okay. First and foremost, we need to pay credit to the government for having paid a lot of attention to the idea of national content. And national content, in general speak, means the value add that a country benefits from the oil and gas sector beyond the direct revenues. So in terms of the supply chain of the opportunities that are available to participate in the oil and gas sector, certain goods and services, the supply of certain goods and services was reserved for Ugandan companies. So which would mean that as the sector increasingly gathers pace, certain opportunities are only available for Ugandan companies. And it's a suite of about 16 opportunities. And those 16 include security. Like security, I mean, if there's any security to be offered to the oil companies and their contractors that are coming in, it's got to be a Ugandan company. Then transportation. If you are a player in the logistics and transportation sector, if there's any goods, equipment, inputs that are going to be moved, it's supposed to be a Ugandan company to participate in that. Already, we have several Ugandan companies that are participating in that space. You have the Kenfrites, you have the Spedax, and so many other companies. That already creates an opportunity itself. Thirdly, there's the idea of a hotel and accommodation. I'm here today at NTV offices at Serena. There's a hotel here. So the hotel can take advantage and accommodate people. Then there's also clearing and forwarding. A lot of inputs are going to come in, imported from abroad. So clearing and forwarding services can only be provided by local Ugandan companies. Then there's also catering, the feeding of the people that are going to be in the camps. It can only be offered by Ugandan companies. Accommodation. Already from where I sit, I'm seeing a number of expatriates coming into the country. And these expatriates, whenever they come into the country, they need to get accommodation, apartments. So that is an opportunity for Ugandans. There are people that have cranes for hire, for lifting equipment. That is an opportunity that is available for Ugandans. Then there are construction materials. You know, when you hear about the production facilities, it's going to be storage facilities that are built using steel and sand and cement. Already the law reserves the supply of locally available construction materials to Ugandan companies. That is an opportunity for you. Then if you're in the ICT, information, communication and technology, that is still an opportunity reserved for Ugandan companies. It's not going to be imported or taken from anywhere, but Ugandan companies are going to participate. And
and I know that list, Ugandans, if they wanted to look at that list, where can they check?
When you go on the website of the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, or even the website of the National Oil Company, that information is prominent. You can check on some of the links there. You will see the services and goods that are reserved for Ugandans.
Ugandans go and check there. But today we have a heart of the matter here that our lawyer is going to explain to us. Dennis, there's the sticky issue of participation under local content, requiring that a local company is the one allowed. Now, what does this thing called local company entail legally?
Actually, local, or let's say Ugandan company, that's what the law says. That's the supply of 16 items of goods and services is reserved for Ugandan companies.
Yes.
And what is a Ugandan company? Of course, when you hear the word Ugandan company, what quickly runs into your mind is that this is a company which must be owned by Ugandans. And already at the point when the applicable legislation was being passed in terms of national content, there were some stakeholders who came out and said that for us to participate in the oil and gas sector, let's reserve these opportunities for companies that are owned exclusively by Ugandans. But some of us did not agree with that, because there's a difference between Ugandanizing and localizing the sector. When you look at many of the investments that are here, you have foreign investors who have put in a lot of money to create local capacity here. Look at Serena. Serena was not built by Ugandan. It was built by a foreigner, put in a lot of money, but it employs over 1,000 Ugandans. The amenities are good. It pays a lot of taxes. So if you look out Serena on the basis that it's not owned by Ugandans, you're actually not achieving the objective of localizing opportunities so that you have the full impact of the trickle-down impact. Economy. So that is why government was very intentional about the definition of a Ugandan company. And they defined a Ugandan company to mean a company which has been incorporated locally, to mean a company which employs at least 70% Ugandans, to mean a company which provides value addition locally, to mean a company which utilizes locally available services and raw materials. Look at Serena. It employs like over 90% Ugandans. The food it gives to the guests is bought in Uganda. The laundry services, the electricity, the legal services, the accounting, they are all Ugandans. Now that is the real value addition that you're looking at. That if you allow a company like Serena or other local companies which have been established here to tap into these bigger opportunities, they're going to hire more people, they're going to pay more taxes, and the real trickle-down impact of the sector will be felt. So that was the idea behind the definition of a Ugandan company, as opposed to pegging it to ownership by Ugandan companies. And some countries have gone that way. And some of those countries which have gone that way have had a bit of a challenge, whereby you'd have Ugandans who are fronted. So they are the shareholders in a company, but they are not the owners. So you're just fronting them for purposes of ticking the box that at least I have Ugandan shareholders, but you will not achieve the objective of pushing down these opportunities down. Yes.
Why? And you did indicate it's a sticking issue for some people.
Yes.
Why is it very important to take note of that definition when you are thinking your Ugandan company?
What I have seen in practice and on national TV, I think I should pay credit to the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, because at the end of that day, having a law in place is one thing, but then also making sure that you realize the full impact of the law is another issue. So the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is the body that is mandated with the obligation of ensuring that local content is forced. So what has been happening, a number of foreign companies have come into the country. They've set up locally, but just for the sake of setting up, to tap into some of these opportunities, but they have not yet undertaken those value-adding activities. And so Petroleum Authority of Uganda, while it is registering companies on the National Supply Database, they are keen to see whether this company is employing Ugandans, to see whether this company is utilizing some raw materials. Because if you just allow a company to just come in while looking at some of these opportunities that are reserved for companies which have been here for so long, companies which have done so much, even with the little opportunities. So if you do not protect them so that they also benefit from the bigger opportunities, you will actually find that they miss out on getting a lot more opportunities. But also to add to that, I mean, there's the Ugandan company, and then there's also what you call a registered entity. Now, for a registered entity, there's what we call the Business Name Registration Act. So I go and register a business name to trade as a sole proprietor. Or we people in the partnerships or other professional bodies, we register partnerships. Now, if any services are to be provided by lawyers, or they are to be provided by surveyors, or to be provided by accountants who register under partnership, now a partnership will be understood to be a Ugandan partnership if the shareholders or the partners in there are Ugandans.
Okay.
So I think that is the only issue exception whereby you look exclusively at Ugandans. But if you feel that is limiting you from partaking in the opportunities as a non-Ugandan, then you can register a company and tick off, rather incorporate a company and tick off the box of employing Ugandans, creating value addition, and sourcing goods and services locally.
All right, in about 1 minute. Therefore, if I'm a Ugandan company, for me, my company is by Ugandans.
Yes.
No foreigners.
Yes.
But the definition can include a foreign-owned company, but is a Ugandan, viewed as a Ugandan company.
Yes.
How should I get prepared then to compete?
Okay. Now, first, even before I go into that, what we have to know is that local content is a requirement of the law, so enforced by the government. But then, it also helps the oil companies. Yeah. If the community sees that they are actually participating, and this is something called social license to operate, you're going to succeed as a business if the community in which you participate indeed says that the community has been integrated. So I am seeing that beyond the normal or beyond what the law provides for, the oil companies are also likely to give some affirmative action to exclusively local companies. For
their own sake?
Yes, or even community, because if I'm operating from Bunyoro region, Tirenga, or I'm in Bulisa, clearly if I am to assess vendors or on the same parameter, someone in Kampala is better placed to achieve the contracts that side. But you're within a community and there are players there who need a little bit of support. So I expect that it's what we call over and above national content commitments. You go above the law prepares for. So you're like, you know what, I know the law says that Ugandan company is one that is owned by foreigners, but for the sake of making sure that even the people in Bulisa participate in this, now let me look for locally established Bulisa entities. So those opportunities are going to arise, and I see that happen when oil companies are looking through their procurement strategies. So what that would mean for you, ultimately the oil and gas industry is an industry of high standards. It's an industry which will not compromise quality. It's an industry which will not compromise delivery. So if you know you come from Bulisa, make sure that your compliance is fine, make sure your books of accounts are fine, make sure your service delivery is above top notch. That way, I can assure you, even if you're competing with someone from Kampala or someone who has come in from UK with a lot of capital, the fact that you're located in Bulisa where the project is, you're at an advantage to clinch that tender better than the guy in Kampala or in the UK.
Council will bring you back because my time is up, and I wanted to ask another question, but I can't ask it because you have already showed me time up. Viewers, oil is here, seriously. Before you see the actual oil, there's going to be a lot of money before the oil. And this is what we're talking about here. So the opportunities, first of all, be on the database for those who are going to provide services and take advantage of being a Ugandan company. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.